Oga Police. No worry, I see you. You know you can do the right thing, right? You know you can do without that bribe. You know you don't even have to harass that young man because he is properly dressed. And you think he's a Yahoo boy? You don't even have to assault that citizen whom you have sworn an oath to protect. Yes. We understand that the pay is not good enough to take you home, that you are still wearing a uniform that you bought with your own money 5 years ago. It's no news that the government has not done enough by you. We feel your pain and we wish things could be different as we continue to call on government to wake up to their responsibility. We want the police to be our friends, just as it is boldly stated across the various police stations nationwide. And from mainland 98.3 FM, we implore you to do better. We love you and we support you always.
Improve this situation for the good of all of us. Do not allow the opportunity to make things better for us. They make it better for themselves, for their comfort and their families. Cronyism is prevailing. Today, our rulers in Abuja and across some of their states, you know what they say to us when they remove subsidy and we say no. Hunger is increasing, they say so what? Unemployment is a cause, they say yes, we know. Why are the people hungry? Is then let them face death. That is what is in Abuja of today. The current way of governance make nation do the impossible. What it does, it makes poverty and the erosion of just society inevitable. We have gathered at this hour in this place to put an end to the national corruption and corruption. We have assembled here today to bring a new day and a new Nigeria to our people. Today, the Nigerian people are decent and hardworking people. They are equally long suffering. They tolerate for too long. Just because they are long suffering does not mean they should be forced to suffer until death comes. We, our people, we've had enough of excuses. Our people have had enough of having nothing. The current government's trademark is to throw empty words, call action at our problem. As if doing nothing will cause our troubles to live for sheer boredom. Unemployment increasing. Industrialization, we have not. Refinery, nothing is working. Electricity, they lie. If this is the government of, if this is the government's idea of transformation and we have none of it, we should not have any of it. Because before we say the government of slow motion, now it is the government of no motion at all. If they want to stand still at the bus stop or train station and be stagnated without poverty, they have their right to do so, and we have our right to kick them out. Not enough that they are stealing from our children tomorrow for lack of investment in education. They are still embezzling the retirement benefit of hardworking Nigeria, including our grandfathers. They are stealing the pot, the treasury, not even leaving some coins for us to war with. Let them be out. Out now.
It is my responsibility every time I come up on this station, every time I put on this mic, every time I invite you to join me every Monday to Fridays from 4 to 5:30 p.m. It is my responsibility to create space for you to hold your political office holders accountable. It is my responsibility also, make you hear the voices and more importantly, the promises they've made to you at the times they were coming to you to solicit for a vote. When they were coming to convince you to exercise your franchise in putting them in political offices. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an amazing time to be on the show today. It's my pleasure to have you join us from whatever part of the world you're watching on our social media platform, or you're streaming on Radio Garden, or you're listening to me live on your radio set. Maybe you're driving home, you're at your place of business. I want to say welcome. Today is Friday, the 15th day of November 2024, meaning this is the last edition of the Situation Room for the week. Well, I want to believe your week has been going good. The Ondo 2024 election had certainly dominated some of the conversations we've had on the show this week. And we're still going to continue in that tradition, because someone is going to be joining me on the show live from Accra, the state capital of Ondo State, to give us updates on the election I'll be holding tomorrow. The state government declared today as a work-free day, so that people can go, around town, travel down to their local governments in case they're based in that's working in Accra maybe, but they are not entitled, or they are not registered to vote, so that they can travel down to their villages, to their local governments, to exercise their franchise. And we've also tried on our parts to cover as many of the candidates that could join us. Remember, as a build-up to the primaries of the election, we had the spokespersons of almost all of the gubernatorial aspirants on the platform of both the PDP and the APC. At this time around, we've had the spokesperson of the APC, the PDP, join us. We've also had the special assistant to the governor on strategic communication, as Comrade Allen Shower. It also been on the show with me, the governorship candidate of YPP, Mr. John Kimuro, had also been on the show with me. We've also spoken to the media director of media and publicity of the Zenith Labour Party. He's also been on the show. So we've tried to spread the conversation so that we invite everyone to come share their thoughts and just come talk to the people. Well, the last 24 hours or thereabout has been about the final interment for the late Chief of Army Staff, General Tʀᴇɪᴅs Iṛ. Well, if you're watching live right now, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, just gave his speech at the final interment, and his family members, and the entire Nigerian population were hoping that you'd have enough strength to bear the loss. Refined gentleman, 56 years old. Well, a lot of people felt he has so much left to offer Nigeria, especially at this crucial moment where we're struggling with some difficult level of insecurity and all of that. So we pray that the good Lord would grant the Lagbajat family the fortitude to bear this great loss. Well, I can always say the show must go on, the country must move on. There's already a new Chief of Army Staff, because it's a vacuum you cannot allow to just be there. Especially now we have new terror group again, rising and springing out from the northeast, and there's just so much for us to handle. And we had that conversation with Mr. Miwa Adeyemi yesterday on the show, the chief political editor of Guardian newspaper, and I asked him, what should we do now that we have a new problem in our hands? The National Security Advisor to the, as Malami Badu came out, I think on Wednesday or thereabout, that we shouldn't worry. Nothing is going to happen. Anybody that tries to, step on the toe of Mr. President is going to get crushed and all of that. But beyond the words that we say, I hope actions are being, carried out to make sure that, nothing at all, to make sure absolutely nothing, happens to the fights of the pushback that the Nigerian army are already recording in the fight against insurgency. Now there's the Lakurawa terrorist group, which from the information I gathered is that they're not even new in the country, that they were invited into the country by two traditional rulers in Sokoto state. At the end of the day, they eventually killed one of the traditional rulers because of money issues, and they were brought in like 50 of them just to come help them protect their farmers. but it looks like the protector is now the predator. It's tough, and then it's such, some unusual times that we have in Nigeria. Once again, on behalf of every one of us here on Mainland FM, we hope and pray that the late General Tʀᴇɪr would continue to rest in peace, and his family would have the fortitude to bear the loss. It's a great loss. I remember, when it was really tough, and the Kaduna-Abuja road became a death trap, more like a hotbed for kidnappers. He was at the forefront. He was in charge of Operation Lafiya Dole. He was in charge of and one of them, mission like that. So he's been around. Unfortunately, he's gone, and hope is gone for good, because like we always say, people really move on real quick, and then everybody will just assume that nothing has happened. But the family of the deceased will be the one to feel the pain, and they'll feel the agony. And I'm really grateful that I've read quite a lot of tributes, even opinion of Nigerians on social media. And for the first time, nobody seems to be casting aspersion on the dead. Maybe we kind of always respect them this time around. Well, it's Friday. There is the governorship election in Ondo State tomorrow, the 16th day of November, and that is the 5th off-circuit election we've had in Nigeria in the last 1 year. Specifically on the 11th of November 2023, we had the Imo, Kogi and Bayelsa off-circuit election, and on the 26th of September this year we had the Edo off-circuit election, and that election produced Senator, now His Excellency, after being sworn in on Tuesday, Governor Monday Okpebholo, and his deputy, Honorable Idahosa. Well, they've assumed office, and the governor of Edo State is already, putting things according to what he said. He has instructed that all of the accounts that belongs to the states be frozen, sealed indefinitely, and he's also instructed that all taxes and levies being collected at the motor parks around Edo State should stop. Well, he's also made his appointment. He's sworn in the secretary to the state government. He's also sworn in as the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in the state. He's also appointed the Commissioner for Health. And he is the son of the former governor of the state, the current senator representing Edo North Senatorial District. That's our comrade Senator Adams Oshiomhole. So let's get into the conversation of Ondo State. My friend and brother, Mr. Gbenga, comrade Gbenga Ajogbolo, joins me on the show today. First off, I know how difficult it could have been, or it is rather, for me to pull you out. Happy birthday to you. Let's start from there.
Oh, thank you.
When I say happy birthday, the way you said thank you are putting diplomacy in this thing. Comrade, happy birthday to you.
Thank you. God bless you.
It's a pleasure to have you join us on the show today. And thank you for taking time out of the hustle and bustle of birthday, and more importantly preparing for the election, because I know that you work for different NGOs and you will be leading some of your teams to cover across the 18 local government to cover the election tomorrow. So I just had to bring you in to have a neutral conversation on how the level of preparedness from your own observation has been. We've had spokespersons and candidates involved in the election join us on the show, and I decided to bring you. So once again, thank you for choosing to be with us on the show today.
Thank you, my brother.
Okay, so let's get straight up into it. There's been a whole lot of issues. The journey, to where we are today did not just start yesterday. It's been a long process. From the primaries, some disgruntled aspirants that felt really bad about the outcome. Some of them have aligned with the ruling party. We've seen, a lot of even aspirants on different political parties coming in and decamping to the APC. Just yesterday, we read that 3 of the 16 candidates have decided to step out of the election and support the sitting governor. So it looks to me like it's a 2-horse race. We saw the debate about 2 weeks ago on national TV. They had only the former deputy governor, now the candidate of the PDP, Agboola Ajayi, and the current governor that succeeded Agboola Ajayi as deputy governor, now the sitting governor, and now the candidate of the APC. Just both of them were on the debate. But let's talk about what we're expecting tomorrow. off-cycle elections in Nigeria, it's a different ball game. Sometimes there's always voter apathy. Sometimes there's always issues with early, maybe printed ballot boxes. So many issues. But from your own observation, what are we expecting tomorrow?
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for the birthday wishes. Yeah, I know that in those state people actually know their left from their rights. They understand that they are to vote and not to fight, and they know that the result of the election is going to, define and dictate the next 4 years in those states. So they are, in fact, I spoke with a lot of persons. Right now, I'm on my way to local government, federal local government right now, just to see how things are going, especially with the distribution of materials to different local governments. So the people are ready. They are ready to vote. They are not ready to fight. Even though we record skirmishes in some places where people think they need to get power or vote by violence or by thuggery. But many times when those people are ready, they know that it is their faith that is rising, their lives will be determined by what they do right now, tomorrow, and afterwards. So they are prepared, they are fully prepared, and they are ready to exercise their sacrifice and to put their progress on the ballot paper. So I doubt there is going to be any big issue because we are saying people have been campaigning peacefully. They have not really recorded any violence or something as big as what has caused a quick fear in the heart of the people. So I expect the people to come out tomorrow in their large numbers, and I hope at the end of the day, maybe we come back on this show to tell you what we see and we see.
Thank you. Now, you followed the entire campaign process, which stops today, which ends today, by the way. You've listened to all of those candidates, the sitting governor, the former deputy governor, the brother to the one-time governor. There's also Barrister Bishop in the mix. So many of these people. What do you see? How do you rate the way all of the candidates have been able to reach out to Ondo people? Now, this is it. Most times, when conversations about election are coming up, a lot of people have lost interest. I watched APC's final, grand rally. I think that should be on Wednesday afternoon. And I saw governors, I saw senators. In fact, the chairman of the APC, governorship council is the governor of Lagos State, and that's His Excellency Governor Sanwo-Olu. So, what would you say, or how would you rate the entire campaign process in terms of issue-based campaigns, in terms of addressing the main issues that are affecting the people of Ondo State at the moment? Not just those banters, not all of those name callings and mud dragons that we always see. How would you rate? Do you think Ondo people have been properly informed to make life-changing decisions tomorrow?
Yes, of course. In those states, we actually are one of the states in the country that has the largest number of educated people. So it's easy for them to, see whatever information that they get and pick out the best for themselves. So I think the candidate has actually done enough to actually reach out to these people, to the people of Ondo State. I know that the candidate of the PDP has a 7-point agenda, if I can see it correctly. How can we campaigning?
No, it's okay.
Yes, he has an agenda that actually touches almost everywhere. And if you read through the manifesto of the candidate of the APC, it is elaborate and actually covers what is going to help the state. We shall also read the campaign policy of Dr. Olusola Bishop, who is the candidate of the Labour Party, which is, it is all encompassing. It covers almost everything: education, talks about agri, talks about the digital economy and all of things that actually kickstart the economy or jumpstart the economy of the state. I also read from the NNPP too. So I think they have done enough to reach out to the people and I know the candidate of the APC and the PDP actually visited all the local governments in the state. In fact, I can say that the two candidates actually went to almost the 203 wards in the state. So they have passed their messages across. It's not left for the people of the state to determine or decide who they want as the next government for the next 4 years. So they know what they want. So when people know what they want, they can break down the information. They know that they need good education, quality and like that. They know that even if we are talking about health, it can be, you can have access to health, but it might not be quality health. So they know that they want quality health. They know that they need to kickstart the agricultural economy in the state. They know that people need to eat, and farmers need to feed themselves and the whole nation, or even the state at that. So they know what they want for themselves, and I know that tomorrow they will decide with their terms. And I'm very confident to what the National Electoral Commission is planning to do. They have been so fair, they have been so fair to all the parties involved. And I know that there are going to be issues for everybody to report, but by and large, they have been fair to all the parties and they'll be carrying everybody along. So tomorrow, the people will decide and they will know what they want for themselves.
That's the major one there. Let's talk about some of the issues that could play out tomorrow. I mean, I read a piece yesterday or thereabouts on Premium Times, and the writer was trying to highlight some of the things that could, play a big role tomorrow. I mean, one can say that campaigns are over, everything is now left in the hand of God, but we always know that maybe more than ever, the eve of the election is probably even more important. I mean, this is the Nigeria we are right now. It's even more important than the entire 150 days of campaigns, and you understand what I'm saying. But Let's talk about one of the fears that a lot of people have expressed the most. The last governorship election in Edo State, Edo has about 2.6 million registered voters now. That means people that are eligible to vote. And unfortunately, less than 600,000 people participated in that election that brought in Senator Monday Okpebholo. Ondo State, according to INEC's final release last month, they said Ondo State had 2,051,063 registered voters.
Yes.
Mr. Ajongbolo, there are 13 local governments scattered across the state, not including the newly created local council development areas, because they are not captured in the 774 that the Constitution recognizes. Why do you think the game or the election will be won and lost tomorrow?
If we are talking about a party, then I think I'll be in the position to talk about winning and losing. But if we want to be generic about it, then we can actually put some figures to it. In the Odo North area of the state, the APC has a city minister, a very popular one at that.
That's the Minister of Interior.
That's the Minister of Interior. And I know if you actually follow the campaign on the day of the final rally,
he was there.
When his name was mentioned, everywhere was slow. Everywhere became almost rowdy, and we had to calm people down before they could listen to his speech. So I think he has the magic to make things work for the APC candidates in the north area of the state, especially the Atiku, the local governments of Atiku in the 6 local governments in the north. I think it's going to be easy for APC to get something tangible in that area of the state. For the central part of the state, I cannot really pinpoint, but they have a city minister too, who is a young person. In fact, he's the youngest cabinet member, a very grassroots politician.
That's the Minister of Youth.
Minister of Youth, yes. So I think he has the appeal among the people, among the young people in the central area, and it's also from Akure. So going to be easy for him to convince a lot of persons to vote for the APC in the central. But where the battle is going to be is in the southern region of the state, southern district of the state, where in fact all the candidates are from, almost all the candidates from all the parties. But the two most popular ones, the sitting governor is from the local government area, who has been the deputy governor before he became the governor, due to the unfortunate demise of the former governor, Tʀᴇɪᴅs. And also the Excellency Agboola, who was actually a deputy governor to the late Tʀᴇɪᴅs, is from M쏘ɪᴜ. So it's the battle of the former two deputy governors. Exactly. They're almost the same area. So it's going to be, week for week, tactic for tactic, strategy for strategy, impact for impact, and now you can, mobilize people to vote for you. So that's where we are going to, see a lot of, unreliability of votes. I mean, how do I put it now? That you cannot pinpoint the number of votes that could come out from that area because of the strength of the two candidates of the PDP and the APC. So that's why I think the pendulum will not swing to anybody's side for now. But for central and northern region of the state, I think it's going to go to the APC.
Okay, because when I hosted Comrade Mʃōɪᴜ last week, I was talking about the fact that it's 18-0, that his party, the APC, will clear all of the local governments. Let's see how it goes. But let's talk about voter apathy, which is what a lot of people are scared of. 2,050,061 registered voters in the state. Do you think the people would come out tomorrow? Do you think the turnout will be impressive enough for us to truly say that the result is a reflection of the people of Ondo State?
Yeah, people will come out because first, all the campaign trail have never recorded any violence and something that could scare the people compared to when we had our 2016 elections.
Yes.
Yeah, 2016 and 20 on their terms, and where even on a street rally you could see violence almost, engulfing them, and everybody is at alert that anything could happen, that someone could bring out something that could harm the other persons. But in those states, it has been peaceful. All the candidates have been going to different places to campaign. There has been no record of violence or anything that could deter or discourage people to come out. So I know, and I think that people will come out. We might not get that big number, but I want to be confident that 20% of the people will come out for the election.
Okay, I like your optimism, and I'm hoping that the people of Ondo State will come out tomorrow and just say things as they are. But let me now ask you, what do you think should be the priority of whoever becomes the governor of the state as we speak? If it's going to be Agboola, former deputy governor, becoming governor, is going to be the sitting governor continuing the race, or is going to be candidate of any of the political parties, what would you think should be their priorities? You look at the dependence level of states on federal allocation, and you see the percentage of Ondo State really high. A state that had barely had anything that's like foreign direct investment in the last 6 or 7 years. The numbers are really terrible. Ondo State is not one of the most industrialized, even in the southwest. Not talk of the entire country, and there's so much potential in that state. Ondo State has one of the longest coastal line in Nigeria. What do you think should be the priority of whoever becomes the governor of the state going forward?
Yes, I think one of the mistakes majority of the candidates did or had was to not do a community engagement to actually address if we can feed ourselves, have a bigger economy to contain everybody, where we can get grants and loans to further expand. We should not be complaining of food in Ondo State. We should not be complaining of high cost of feeding in the state. If we can address that, then we are good to go. Then there are some untapped resources in the state that people have actually been putting lip service to. we know of bitumen. They say we are the second largest in the world, if I'm correct now. Nobody is doing anything to it. I don't know how most past governors have actually overlooked this. And people that actually attempted to do something about it.
Get into this.
They actually did more of political exploration and exploitation of bitumen. So I think it's something we can do around tap resources. Let's go back to them and bring them out. And yes, we are an oil producing state, but the reliance on oil is reducing. People are building out a lot of things that actually outside the crude oil, and they are getting stuff from it. And the third thing I think we can do is the digital economy of the state. There are young people that are leaving the state for Lagos, for Abuja, for River State, because first they don't have access to what can help them to become better IT persons. People don't even want to leave their homes. They just want to work for companies in the country and not make their money. And make their money, they need something that will help them. A lot of them need the ops where they can have 24 electricity, they can have internet, and they have access to the IT tools that can help them to become better persons. So I think any government that comes to issue have a commissioner for digital economy. That's the question. That a young person that understands the business and marketing side of IT, that can mobilize the youth in Ondo State, and that can actually explore that opportunity for the millions of young persons in the state. I think those are the three things I think the next government should actually face. It is the people that are eating that will travel. So let's feed the people so they have money in their pocket. Let's tap our resources. Then let's do something for the IT economy.
I like it. Very clear. I mean, your line of thoughts is very precise. You understand what these issues are. Now, you made mention of a very critical, part of the state, which is the young and teeming population. Ondo State has one of the set of the most vibrant youths across any state in this country. And that is as against, what we regard to as older people in this country. The Minister of State for Youth that had been upgraded to the Minister of Youth now is a social media savvy, super young guy that you and I are friends with. What do you think the governor should do in terms of tapping these resources of engaging young people and making sure that, the whole allure of wanting to leave the states stops?
I think it is simple. It is from the governor's perspective first. But the governor wants this thing done. Is it his priority? Fine, we need to get the perspective of the governor first. But secondly, it is the appointment of the people that will in charge of both places. So if you bring me into that kind of space now, I might not function well because I don't know the business side of IT. I don't know how to do, how to find my way around getting grants into IT economy, getting the experts, getting people to mobilize down. But when there are hundreds of young persons in the state that have done things. I don't want to start mentioning names. These guys are everywhere. Yes, they might not be fully involved in politics, but you know what they do. You know what they can do. Bring them on board. Let them mobilize because they know these guys. They have their contacts. They have their network. They know how to bring these guys together. If in Akure alone you bring 1,080 guys together, you have destroyed poverty in Akure among the youth. So get the right perspective. Get the right persons in power and give them the needed resources that can make these things work. And you see people stay back in the they can become best of themselves.
Thank you. But on the final note, and this is me putting you on the spot. I know. Okay, before I even ask that question, in every democracy that is thriving, the roles of civil society organizations, civil liberty organizations, pressure groups, interest groups, religious organizations cannot be overemphasized. And a lot of people, call these CSOs and CLOs, call them out in terms of where their loyalty lies. The executive director of the CLOs in Nigeria, Comrade Steve Atiku, is my friend, and he always says that some of the CLOs that are supposed to be civil liberty organizations have turned to CEOs, that's civil evil organization, because of how they publicly shown their loyalty to the government that are supposed to criticize. You play within that field. Your times are cold, your times are sunshine, your own NGO. How much do you think you can be involved in terms of sensitizing the people on the need for them to make electoral decisions from an informed point of view, and not just from the place of, oh, he's my religious man, he's from a cocoa like me, oh, he's from this, he's from that. What more do you think your organization or the circle you operate can actually do in terms of, educating the people?
Yeah, so what we do, we actually do two things. We do the virtual education and we do the offline one. Now, these offline things, we know that the majority of our people might not be online to get this information. So we go to these communities and do community sensitization, we mobilize them, we train them on how to be sensitive, on how to even engage elected and selected leaders, and how to even make sure the opinion leaders in their communities put across their grievances and their requests to their duty bearers. So we have to do a lot of things, and I think it is important people understand that we are humans. And even if we decide to stay away from these things, we still have the responsibility and our civic duty as a people to vote and to be part of the people that will pick the leaders. Yet, we need to understand that our decision today will actually determine what is going to be our fate in the next 4 or 8 years. So we are doing a lot to educate the people. People are getting the messages, but we can do better. We can actually do better when we have more resources and many human resources. People picking up volunteering works and do these things for themselves. I cannot be everywhere in the state. We have to have people that will come up and say, this is what I want to do for my community. I want to engage them. I want to sensitize them. I want them to know what it is to do before, during, and after election. To vote and not fight, and to not spread their vote. These are the two major things that we are telling the people. Vote and not fight. Vote and not sell your vote. So we are doing a lot. And at the end of the day, there's a program we have, we call it after the election, what's next. So after voting, so many people just go back to their homes. But we want to engage people to come out and say, okay, in the next 6 months, what would you have done, Mr. Governor? What would you have done, Mr. Senator? What would you have done, Mr. Representative? So those are the things that we are doing, and people are getting the messages, and they are coming up, but we know we can do better. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Agbonga. Your friends and fans call you Ajos, and I think you just got a new title recently, retired but not tired comrade. So that we are able to connect with you in our Don't Decide 2024 studio. Don't Decide 2024 studio, so that we can get update from you. Thank you very much once again.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Welcome back. That was Comrade Gbenga Jongbolo. He's a social activist, member of the CLO in Ondo State, and he spoke to us about how the campaign trail had, fared. Oh, I feel so emotional right now. I'm watching the final, interment for the late Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, and the casket is being lowered, and then you could just see how emotional the wife and the kids are. Like I said, I really hope that the family would have enough strength to bear this loss. 56 years, still really really young, and if you know how much he's done in terms of previous assignments, previous operation is led, then you know that his death is a massive loss to Nigeria, especially at this time where we need all of our gentlemen, refined gentlemen, taking the battle straight to the bandits or to the terrorists or to the kidnappers, whatever space they find themselves. Once again, we pray for his soul to continue to rest well. Good. Let's get back into it. Joseph Fᴏᴏ joins me on the show today. He's not been here since Edo went the other way. I decided to pull on the show to have a conversation on a Friday like this, the eve of the governorship election in Ondo State. It's been a very engaging conversation. How we've also covered the primaries, the election proper, and let's see how it goes. Actually, Joseph, it's another off-cycle election, and I don't know how predictable this one is. You were so confident in the fact that Mʃɪɪᱲ was going to win the Ondo election. You sent me a lot of documents after the election, by the way. But what do you make of your neighboring states? I mean, you're from Edo State. Ondo is the closest to Edo after Kogi. What do you make of the entire process, and how well or how informed do you think the people of Ondo State have been in terms of making their choice tomorrow?
Well, okay, permit me. I will just watch what is going on with in fact, a general like Bajalin put it that way. And me, personally, I want to beg the president and beg Nigeria. Yes, whatever happened, they should do what we call serious, thorough investigation. Thorough as a real thorough investigation.
You think there's a need for that?
No, this is a very classic officer.
Absolutely.
So
one of the finest we've had.
Let's just find out what actually transpired.
But they said it was the statement of the Nigerian Army says he died after a brief illness.
Okay, that is, they are not telling you maybe based on autopsy, but based on thorough investigation. You know that like in Lagos, during Fᴏᴏ make I don't know whether we still apply that now. You cannot just go and bury someone in Lagos without finding out even what people may say.
Cause of death.
But you must. This is in other country. Every one of us, attention will be on what is going on. You understand it. So I will request for. Let me not say we. I request for a very, very thorough, unbiased investigation. And at the end of the day, at least just to ensure that whatever happened, we have a lesson to keep there. That's just on a private note. I was in Ondo State on 21st of last month, and I moved on Barauki, part of Akure, and the rest of them. And I know that Ondo people are extremely very ready for this tomorrow election. With some information that I gather, yes, it's going to be a bit very, very peaceful election as usual. Because our election in Nigeria is always very, very peaceful. But sometimes INEC as a security agency, they can fall our hand, occasioned by, a lot of people emotion will be in that election. If I talk, if me and you is contesting for a position, let it happen that people I know on my own, I will not even go to court. I will just call my supporters.
Like we lost
this election. Let us wait for the next election. But a situation whereby you see a lot of election in Nigeria, sometimes the security agency, to be on the safe side, they will be indifferent. INEC will be indifferent. What do I mean by indifferent? You see something that is not normal as an umpire. Instead of you to quickly raise questions, you look away. You see something that is not normal as a security agency, instead of you to raise questions and say, stop it, you look away. And those other people know. They will say, this person, there's a role that he's supposed to play and he did not play that role. So because of that, people can take law into their hands. You understand? Because imagine, you and I in a place, we saw a police officer beside us. We will feel at home and say, okay, or you see any of these policing agency around, we feel at home. But if someone now harm us, and with that person looking at, then I cannot say, if I see any other place I see, even though if I see almost everybody there, they are police, and I see one person, just because of past experience, I will say, no, I need to guide myself and protect myself. I may take law into my. So many challenges that we have been having, especially in respect of our election. For me, I will investigate the great umpire, which is INEC, their role, and I will investigate the security agency who's supposed to equally. So for me, the Igbo people are extremely very, very ready for this very election, and I know I pray INEC should disappoint me, but I know INEC will not disappoint me. No, INEC will not disappoint me. No,
I want them to disappoint you too.
No, people will complain.
Disappointing you means the election will be smooth, and there will
be some things that you assume they don't go past.
But you go see
this is you go, for example, one of my friends who took who like a tall guy for INEC in the American election. He said we were asking them a question, and they say yes, not that we don't want things to be like this in Nigeria, but there is a lot of interest. There is a lot of interest, and for you were having a conversation with the involvement of youth in our electoral system on the political dynamics. The youth in Nigeria are extremely very interested in what happened in our election, but it has to be digitalized. Some of those youth, see my son sometimes, the way my son use my phone, but our leaders or rulers, they want to go analog. You understand it? But none of you were thinking, the when I make 2015 and 2023 election, INEC overpromised that beaver everywhere, beaver. So people will say, okay, we want to watch what is going to happen. Just for people to now a bit disappointed when I never announced there's glitches, there is everybody know that when you are engaging yourself, when you are embracing system, you have to prepare for virus. At least your system, your laptop, you set aside money to have, and you buy and you bought antivirus, and you have to use it to guide your system. It means that INEC then not telling them there is glitches, there is all this. It means that they are telling them that time they were telling them that they actually prepare.
So they prepare for a backup.
And in those things, was it not last week? The INEC chairman told the whole world that they know that the mistake that happened in Edo State will not happen in Ondo State. In a civilized country, only that word if it is not on its own, say thank you, let me follow the exit door. The system will ask you, Oga, thank you. You are telling them that there was some narrative that you observed, that the head of the umpire, that there was something that are not appropriate in the last election in Edo State. But he has promised us again that everything is going to be very, very fine. It's going to be very fine. But for example, now, if I say something is going to be very, very fine, it depends on my own reanalysis of that thing be fine. In my present, the police present, people across for to see. Look at it. I can assure that a lot of young ones in Nigeria, they want this country to be better. It is not their interest for them to jackpot. You understand? But that environment is conducive for them to operate. If they want to do a bank transaction, they sit down in their house and do it. They want to send in more, but here, you can say you want to.
Well, I'm also really positive. I'm hoping these days when I really
issue a positive and do something that.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, no matter how bad things are, you still have to live every day with some level of positivity, so that it just doesn't go all gloomy, all dark, and all of that. So
the implication of that. The implication of that is. Sometimes maybe because of my own training, one of my lecturers says it's better you go to just prepare for the worst. Just know that you may be disappointed and not guide yourself.
So that I can manage the expectations. I'm hoping that the people see. There are two things I'm particularly worried about. First off, apart from the conduct of the election, I'm worried about the possibility of vote buying, which it's difficult. It's almost like we've resulted or we've lost the battle already, because I remember at the INEC, what is INEC doing about it? Do INEC really legitimately persecute electoral offenders? Do we need a separate court that would handle election-related cases? We've seen where EFCC will storm election venue, voting point. We saw it during the 2023 presidential election where I covered Atiku, where the president voted. We saw EFCC, they all came, and I'm like, hey. Even at the convention of major political parties, we always see FCC, ICPC officials and all of that. But more importantly for me is that the people enabling this vote buying and this corruption within this system, they have to be made scapegoats. Beyond just saying, we've arrested electoral offenders, we've done this, we've done that. I'm trying to take my attention away from this.
It may not work. The reason why it may not work, in 2015, even some of the security, when we are having this kind of conversation, do you know that some security agents that are deeply involved, they will be laughing at us? You understand? There are instructions that will come from above. You understand it? Whereby you are a member of a particular party, I'm a member of a particular party, and I'm on the side of the ruling side. All of us are committing almost the same thing. They will talk to security agents. Once I say feel on your own, they say make sure that guy is doing that guy. No. You understand, man? The system we operate is as if there's something that you assume people did not know, and what people are aware. They know what they are doing. People know what you are doing. And that's the reason, for example, if you look at it, I do tell, this is a classical example. I do tell people, every successful IGP will make a pronouncement. May of increase, the number will now increase because sometimes it's just for, it's telling you that I'm on board. Please, let's align. You understand? Because look at they have the police act. How many times do they follow the police act? What is the issue of vote buying? I do tell people that, see, there is no way except the person did not have a good lawyer. So which court do you want to charge the person for vote buying? How? Yes, you see, just making up, police just making us say we arrested people for vote buying. I am an apology of a party B. It's in my mind to vote for that party B. As I was going, they give me 20,000 to subsidize my transport. It's in my mind to cast my vote for that party. Is that vote buying? Is that vote buying? Because your mind is made up already. Is that vote buying? How do you establish vote buying? See, you need to just why did you come up with to subsidize your transport? I do tell Nigeria, always visit court. When you go to court, you see how things you now see how things are going. I think Justice TBS one time police were charging that they are thinking about up to like 5 cases on murder case. The judge threw them away and asked the people to be let. I think because police could not. The police should come and say this crime, you're linking this person to this crime, and the judge will look at it. You can't be wasting my time, be wasting people's lives. Someone has died. You understand it? But you could not sit down, tidy up your case. You know what we do here is we rush to do a particular thing. You now read the people say the judge is corrupt. Is this? Why did you present the investigation? It's only in Nigeria that someone will be arrested. Hey, okay, we have arrested you. Go for me. They now want you to provide evidence for them to nail you. Will you be stupid to do that? In civilized country, what you can be investigating someone, and the person will be in the next 1 year. We know. By the time arrest the person, when they now reach court, they will go front, go back, and at the end of the day, you are not embarrassing the system. You know, I was asking JD the other day. I said, JD, can you recollect the time of a very wonderful brother and friend? Shikuti at Milan Beach. None of us how far with that case? I don't know. Because but we don't rush and do some funny thing, and I don't know. Probably the whole issue. You know, we're due for our first break by 5 o'clock, and we will quickly pay some bills. And when I come back, I will open the phone lines. I know a lot of you guys want to sink your teeth into the conversation. Yes, 0913-600. His birthday is, I think, 20th of December thereabouts. So we would always go to correctional facilities across the country to do his outreach. So there was one we attended. I think it was in Kogi State. And do you know that there was a certain guy
that I think the punishment for his, I think it was maybe theft or something, is supposed to be 6 months in jail or option of fine. This guy had been on a waiting trial for 7 years. He was not charged to court for a 6-month crime. And I'm like, you can't wrap either.
That one, his name is still there,
maybe.
Okay. This is a global rate. There are some people that are in prison. The name they used to charge them is not their correct name.
Interesting. Let's play some news. We'll come back and continue the conversation. They can also join us. 0913-600-0410. You're listening to The Situation Room live.
Listening to Mainland 98.3 FM.